Hey, what's up, everybody? It's the Castle here. Uh, gonna explain some stuff. So, with this said, I'm very deep in the technical side of everything as far as getting the prefab system set up and everything like that. Right now, I'm playing around with the sort of nuances of it. I'm also going to be touching a few other things. I don't have very much left to do, but a lot of the little things that I need to do are these really super duper important tweaks. Like, for some reason, unless I nudge the volume before I do a certain calculation, the volume won't pick up every object that you place inside of it. So there's like, I'm going to actually have to like slightly move it, maybe up one unit and down one unit again, in order for it to just go, oh, hey, there's everything again. There's like weird stuff like that I'm gonna have to deal with. Otherwise, though, the system is mostly okay. The main problem that's bugging me right now is that there might be a limitation unless I can figure out proper translations for being able to have these volumes not just be on a 90-degree cardinal angle. So like being able to drop one of these volumes down and have it be like, slightly offset or kind of sitting like off to the side or like, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff might not be possible unless I get a little bit better at translation math or something because the rotations get really fucked up unless these things are on proper cardinal angles. So let me take a look real quick here. Um, I might actually just sort of just mess around with the prefab points and stuff for just a little bit, but here's the idea. There's like lots of little nuances with this that I'm not entirely happy with all of these things just yet. So test this is called test 01. Load the instance. Okay, so I just made a new. That's an instance of this, right? Now, if I want to add like a light or something, let's go to 6. I add a light. I'm going to just add a generic point light. Just light this up from maybe like in this room here so it looks kind of fancy. Increase the radius, because fuck it, why not? Testing anyway. Alright, so you got a cool shadow coming in from there. Now, I have to I have to grab the volume itself, right? And I have to nudge it one over and then one back. And then I can save, right? And then on this guy over here, I go load, and there it is. There's the light. So this being the instance of this object over here, right? Now, I could just for the hell of it add a couple more. Oops. Get back into this mode. Prefab point. Yeah, I am very much like in the woods on this because this is like one of those things where it's just like you got to get it right, but it's just going to be kind of insane. The thing that's really nice about this, though, well, just not just nice about it. Let's say the thing that's really cool about this style of level design, though, is that it really changes how you think about building the levels, right? Like, so is it center pillar? It's possible to build huge maps using sort of like preset prefabs, but you just have so much range in which how you can actually do all of it and everything like that. Now, it's a little bit strange because it encourages you to work in lots of different instances, right? So this is me nudging the. Another thing too, it encourages you to like switch maps because you'll work on this level for a little bit. Like right now, I'm inside of a prefab, as a level. So if you look in this right here, oh wait, it's not even listed here. I'd have to actually import it. No, actually no, I'm in new test right now, but like um, it it means like switching maps a lot, but you can't really switch maps a lot if you're working with all your friends, right? Because if you're in a multiplayer environment, what you really want is you want to have one level where everybody's hanging out together and we're all doing the same stuff, right? So the goal is to make a system that is seamless where we don't have to, you don't have to leave to another map. Although you can if you want to, right? Like I can hand a chunk of a map off to somebody and then that person can just work with it, right? So like what I've got here, okay, this is two instances inside of one instance. Now let me nudge this so that it will save it correctly. And let's see what happens. So you could definitely see like, okay, I'll reload this and there it is. There's the new object. Now I can grab this. Oh yeah, that's right. I can't duplicate it yet. So let me make another one and give it the test01 test01 load instance. All right, and now rotate it a couple of times and move it to where I need it to be. Yeah. See, now I've got a room. Now I've got a full-size room with like way too many point lights in it, right? Um, and then I save this, and then like maybe I could have barrels that are also instances. Like I'll have like an instance barrel or something like that. And then those would just be sitting inside of the pillar instance. You know what I mean? And then you'd end up with like instances inside of instances inside of instances. And then you can essentially art your entire map out just by like touching like 15 different little tiny files. You just put wall textures in and everything like that, and you boom, you got a base art pass on the whole entire thing. And then you fit everything together using different types of level geometry and stuff like that. And I don't know, it's pretty crazy. So like now that I've got this right, let's see what happens if I do a test02. So I'm going to do another prefab volume, right? And which direction do I want this to face? I don't know. Okay, I'm going to do, so you're going to be oh no, yeah, 4 by 4 by 4, right? Now let me move it over so that it's fully encompassing the center of this, right? And then, yeah, so what I'll do is I'll make, is it X? There we go. And then I drag this out this way a little bit. Okay, so now this is encompassing this entire thing, right? And since it's already nudged, I only have to save this once. So I can go test02, right? And then I save this. Now let me drop down a new object that is a prefab point, and this will be the test02 thing. Let's see if this test02, and here's the whole thing. Now rotate that. Alright, so now it's the whole object of this object. Oh yeah, it's a little bit off center though. So let me grab this. Oops. Hmm. I guess this would probably be more like a 6 or something. So that I can get it perfectly centered, you know. Eh, no. Close. I guess 7? What a weird. Yeah, I guess in order for it to be, you'd have to have like an uneven number sometimes in order for the prefab to be properly sized. And then I'd have to actually reduce the grid size down a little bit, at which point this kind of becomes a little bit hard to do without an orthographic view. Not super happy about that, but it doesn't need to be perfect. And then since it's already nudged, I can save it, and then I can go in here and click load instance, and there it goes. Okay, so Let me grab this, and now I can take this and I can be like, yo, dog, um, I heard you like rotations. Now the whole level is rotated slightly. Okay. Oh man. So, yeah, that's pretty interesting stuff. I mean, it's definitely working, all right? But there's like little things. Like, for example, do I want all of these little, I mean, it says prefab here, but like if I click any of these things, it'll still actually change these variables. So like I have to be careful about that, which will just fuck up the local prefab. Like if I reload the level, it won't bother to save that shit because it doesn't need to, right? Like, but because I'm telling it not to. Like anything that's marked as prefab doesn't actually get saved. The only thing that gets saved is the object that loads the objects. So you'll have a ton of objects that are marked as prefab. It means that they'll never act, they're not the object that actually gets saved. So if for some stupid reason you decide to modify an object that says that it's prefab, it simply will never save that change because that's not what I'm saving. That's not what I'm looking at, for doing. So it's there's a lot of like, I don't know. Um, a little bit of math, a little bit of foresight. This is a little bit more technical than your average everyday user, easy, friendly, user friendly like level design tool like SnapMap or something like that. I've already gone past that territory. I'm pretty sure. There's a lot more to take in, and there's a lot more technical side, technical stuff going on here. But as this level editor continues to grow, as it continues to mature, and I get like undo, and I get fucking maybe I move the prefab system over so that the prefabs aren't in volumes, but rather just there's a prefab point icon and a prefab, volume icon over here. Basically, just sort of hide it from the volumes full thingy, and do a lot of cleanup work, and just kind of just polish this a bit more so that a lot of those weird nuances are not a problem. This ends up just getting to be a really powerful level design tool that allows for stuff that normally you just don't usually see. Now, a lot of people are still thinking like, well, it really needs to look like something, and we need to get some art in there. And believe it or not, that's actually very close. That's very close. So I'm going to be focusing on art for a couple weeks straight. I'm just going to be making textures. I'm just going to be making meshes. I'm going to be making pipe variations and everything like that. What I want is a full tool set from which I can actually build, a base and a castle set. So a castle set like ruins, kind of Dark Soulsy, kind of fucked up, like ancient shit. Um, more open terrain type stuff and more base stuff. So like the slipgate kind of stuff. I want to have a really solid set of assets like that I'm just going to be doing, and they're going to be done with the pixel art style that you see here. Um, but it's going to be more polished. I'm gonna actually utilize normal maps. I'm gonna do all that kind of stuff where like when the light shines over it, it actually looks like the light's affecting it, and um, proper specular highlights. I'm actually gonna put energy and time into making these textures so they really pop, so they really look like something interesting. And the methodology that I'm going to follow too for inspiration is I'm going to take textures that I already like from other games, like Quake and stuff like that, and I'm going to begin by sort of drawing over top of them my own vision of what that texture will be, right? So it'll end up being kind of like um none of the original art will be there in the final product, but I will use other art for inspiration. And I think I'm going to do that a lot, actually. Like a lot of the guns that I may actually import a gun model that I like from another game or something like that, and then just build around it, build my own thing that's that has those sort of nuances that I like about the thing that I'm kind of copying. I'm going to be building around a lot of really stuff that I'm inspired by from other people, and I'm going to use that as a close reference. So you're going to see a lot of stuff that sort of fills those roles, so to speak, fills those nuances in a way that will be well, you know, obviously, you know, none of the stuff that is final will actually look like the actual things from before, but there will be a strong influence from those things from before. If that makes any sense, it's maybe I'm making this a little bit complicated sounding. So basically, yeah, I'm gonna try and like mimic a lot of um the archetypes, I guess. If I have if I'm modeling a grenade launcher, I might look at the Quake 1 grenade launcher model and build something like, or I might look at the Quake 2 you know grenade launcher model or something like that, or take a look at like what other games have and then import those into Blender and then make my own mesh that is stylized within this style, and do something very much like that. Like, and I want to try and have quite a bit. I want to have a lot of different variations of really cool stuff. So I don't know. So with that said, yeah, this is I'm very much in the woods right now. I might not stream tonight because I just want to focus on getting all of this done and getting it all into a really solid place. And then I want to start actually getting the art in. And I don't want the art to just be, like a little thing. Like I want people to start actually seeing these screenshots and being like, "What the fuck is this?" You know what I mean? That's what I want. Now, this is still going to be content for Revulsion 1, so the new levels with the new art and everything like that are definitely going to be you know stuff that you can play sooner than later. But with that said, yeah, like I just have to figure out some I just have to figure out some really basic stuff. It's all like really nitpicky, like little things that'll make a really huge difference as far as the prefab system is concerned. I like the fact though that this example that I just did right here, if somebody else was floating around in the map, they'd have been able to contribute and help out, and you know, without me having to switch to another instance. But if you're working alone, you can switch between instances, and maybe that's easier for you. Like, what if you're working with friends and stuff like that? You just bring the instances in, and voila. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna end this video here. Take it easy, guys, and I will, stay tuned for more. And tomorrow you'll probably be looking at stuff in a, much more further along. So, yeah, take it easy.